In this episode, we're going to make some parts so we can finish up the Heart River Bridge. It's been a while since I've done anything with this, and it's time we finish it. If you've been following along, I'll put pictures up as I describe what I'm doing here. In each end of each bridge in the corner, there is a box-like structure that is what the bridge actually mounts, rides on as it sits on the cement foundation, or the abutments, whatever you call them. And that's about all I'm missing, other than a few gussets here and there. I need to do some gussets up here. And that's what this episode's going to be. We're going to make some gussets. Okay. Like this. But here's the good part. Because I need so many, we're going to make these gussets into patterns so that they can be cast in resin and duplicated, much like these gray ones here. I cast these in resin just because I didn't have enough of them. There should be some gussets here. You can tell this one broke already. There's going to be a gusset right there, as on the prototype. Sort of a kite-shaped gusset in here, and then the big box enclosure on these corners. And I need those in order to finish up this bridge. So, I have some 20 thousandths sheet styrene, evergreen sheet styrene. And this is just a scrap. I have already, looking at pictures, the pictures that I have, this is about the right size and the right shape for what I need. And I made two of these. Okay, a right side and a left side. And these lines, show you here in a second what those lines are for. That's where the rows of rivets, the rivet detail needs to line up with the bridge members here. So I've spent quite a bit of time trying to make these exactly the same, right and left, because I'm going to need 4 sets of them. And this would be a good time to do a tutorial on resin casting, because this is a flat part. This would be reasonably easy to cast. But anyway, it's going to go right here. And turn this one around. And that one goes right there. And then that's going to be boxed in with, I'm going to try using what's left of the Central Valley bridge kit. These members here, I'll just kind of box it in as a square, because I just want to get this baby done. And, okay, along with these, there's this gusset, which goes right here on the bridge. Can you see it there? I need to put rivets on this. And there's 2 little kite-shaped pieces. These are approximations because the angle of the pictures I have, it's not so easy to tell what shape they are exactly. But anyway, they go right here on the bridge. You can see that. So there's going to be one here and one right here. And these need some rivet details. So tonight we're going to do that. And then we're going to set up a mold. We're going to pour some silicone and turn these into patterns. And if you guys enjoy watching pattern making or mold making or casting, please let me know, because I could do a lot more of that. And if there's enough interest, I might make these, I'll lay these out on a sheet and I'll make them available to whoever wants them. If you want to make your own bridge or have these. These are some that I made already. This gray material. It's actually this one right here. It's kind of trimmed. I won't focus. There you go. It's just been trimmed. But I need I need this one so that I can gusset this little piece over here. Or how did I do that? Maybe it's going the wrong way. Well, you get the idea. But I need 8 of these also. And that'll end up about right there. So we're going to add this modified piece to the sheet of patterns, and we'll make a mold after I get all the rivets put on the sheet styrene. So what do I need to do that? Well, good old-fashioned archer rivets. This is their earlier sets. And this is what it looks like. It's got several patterns, which I like. And I did a lot of the rivet detail on these gussets, which I only needed 4, so I just made them. This one has rivets. And these sides do not. I still need to add rivets to these corners. I thought, well, let's make some and cast them in resin so that everyone can see how I do that. I have some leftovers from rivets I've had from years gone by, but I want to try to use a pattern that exists on this sheet already so that I can just cut out a strip like this and there, just fill it in like that. And I'm going to be using the real photographs as a reference, and I'll be posting pictures as I do this. So let me get this figured out what I need, and we'll put some rivets on each of these, and then I'll show you how I treat them, how I get them ready for patterns, and then we'll make some duplicates. I need 4 pair of each one. Oh, I need 2 of this one, but we're going to duplicate that one also. And let me get set up for that. All right. So what I need to figure out which rivet pattern I want to use. And I'm going to go with this middle size here. And I'm going to go 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows in this long direction. And what I ended up with, does that make your eyes crossed? Okay. So I'm going to put this grouping here using photographs. I'm going to get close. I mean, I can't just, I mean, I could replicate every rivet, but we need to be sensible. So you can kind of see which way I'm going with that. I'll put up a picture, maybe over here, so you can compare it. Now, I also need a row of rivets right here. However, they're in a different pattern. So I might end up using some of these right here. So we'll see how that looks. I'll cut some of those out. And really, that's about all it needs. There should also be a hole up here. That's easy. There's kind of a top plate. That'll be easy. But we'll put some rivets on this and it'll look a lot better. And let's get going with that. Okay, all I have is just some water. And just find a surface for a few drops. You don't need a lot of water, like that right there. This is a container of solder. So I've cut some rivets out that I like and put those on the droplet of water. Let them do their thing. And while they decide to loosen up a little bit, I'm going to, I need 2 sets of those, one for each side. I also need a row of rivets there. Here's an old set. Like that. Let's see here. I'm gonna need about three of these, 3 pairs. So let me cut those out. This piece of wood is just so I don't gouge up my bench. Easy as that. Okay, we're gonna see if I like those. Show you what I'm doing. Jeez, where'd they go? They vanished. Oh my goodness. They're gonna go right here, all the way up. And there should be a few more rows along the bottom, and then maybe like one more row right here. So I'll cut some out. I'll try to see what I can make look decent, and we'll continue. All right. Some of these have been sitting quite a while. They're starting to move. And we're going to apply some decals here. Just lift them off. Put them in place. Should have a brush. They pretty much go on. They go on right over the structure, rivet to the beams of the bridge. And notice they stop right here. I have to zoom in because the way I believe the bridge was put together is this piece that comes down is just cut at a nice straight square angle, and it's only riveted. It's the riveting shows you how it connects to the rest of the bridge. It's the gussets that hold everything together. I don't believe this beam and this beam are connected other than through this large box girder gusset. So these are pretty good. These are going to get painted and weathered, so you'll see the rivets, but they're not going to stand out like black dots on white. So that's how this side's going to go. And if I just zoom in, it'll be easier. I need some rivet detail here, which we're going to have to splice. I'm going to use this grouping. And I might need more. Set. There we go. See what I'm doing? I need to make them a long, continuous. Just line them up with my pencil mark. There. And I'm looking at a picture as I do this. So let's get them pretty good. Make it look like one continuous row. Can you guys see that? There. I'll be posting pictures as I do this, so that looks pretty good to my eye. What else could I use to show you? I guess I'll just hold it up. And I have yet another grouping that's going to go along the bottom here. Ripped it. All right. Well, that's okay. Okay, going by pictures. Going to get rid of this piece. That's about where I want it, is right there. It's starting to look pretty good. Really, that's all that's on it. I could add a few more right here if it bothers me. However, half of what I'm doing is going to be hidden because it's going to be on this side of the model. It's going to be on this side of the model, okay? So you're never going to see it. And what you do see is this going to be a small part of the whole structure. So I screwed those up. I'm going to straighten those out, and I'm going to do the second one. And then I'm going to put some Salva set, some decal set on them. We're going to let those dry, and then I'm going to do these other decals. Here we have the gussets I made with Archer rivets. They're ready to be made into a pattern to cast duplicates in resin. So I'm going to show you how I set up a really quick mold. But I'm also going to add a couple more pieces here. I'm going to need 4 sets of these two and these two. I need 2 sets of these kite-shaped pieces, and I need 2 of that shape. So I'm going to put them all in the same mold. I'll just make as many as I need, and maybe we'll set up another mold and make all of the gussets that I used. See who else wants some. All right, to make a mold, I need a flat surface, flat smooth surface. And I use carpet tape, just 2-sided carpet tape. And you can get this at any of those big home improvement stores. I've used that kind. Here's a generic kind. I don't know the brand name, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use, might as well use this one. This is pretty easy. Tear some off. Stick it down with as few bubbles as possible. Air pockets. Do a couple rows. Try to butt them up as close as possible to each other. And try to figure out how you want to lay them out. I don't know. Might go like that. Make a mental note. This is just personal preference. There's no wrong way to do this. Then I'm going to build up I'm going to use Legos, and I'm going to build up a wall around the outside for the silicone to be poured into. And all right, I like that. It's as easy as that. Now remember, sort of remember how you had that laid out. And you peel off the second side. Or try to. Try not to peel it off of your, I don't know, we'll call it a plate. You can use anything flat, smooth, a pane of glass, some of this cheap laminated shelving, piece of metal. Watching this in real time, so I'm showing you how easy it is. The hardest part is trying to separate the corners without lifting the rest of it. See, you don't really want to do that because it never sticks as well the second time. But we're going to be working in the middle, so it's okay. There. Okay. Now, find a good spot. Paste that down. Push it down. And we're going to go this way about an inch. Paste that down. Just a good firm push. Don't rub off your rivets. Put these about right here. Use a Q-tip or a pencil with an eraser. The eraser end, just kind of push it down with something that's not going to screw it up. And put this one right here. This one. These are different, just a little bit. This is the left one, this is the right one. There. Now let's see, where are my Legos? Okay. Now what we're going to do is build a wall around it. Build a wall around these about 2 bricks thick. And they should stick to the tape. And I'm going to leave, I don't know, 1/2 inch or so of a gap. And there's nothing to it, just how's this gonna work? Not quite wide enough. Maybe a little. Maybe I'll go go that wide. That's pretty good. It doesn't matter. It's the beautiful part of it. It doesn't matter. It has one job to do. It just makes it dams up the silicone as you pour it. It's quick and it's easy. You can make any shape that you want within reason. And how's this looking? I don't have any little ones. You can see silicone from prior projects. And there you go. Guess this one doesn't need to stick out that far. And just center it. Press it down. It's ready. It's for silicone. Now, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some of this smooth on platinum silicone rubber. Does it have a name? Mold Star series. Smooth on. It is a fast, right here. Fast, part B. Wait. Oh, Mold Star 30. That's the name of it. 2-quart containers. This is good for a project like this because it takes about 4 hours to cure. And so it's about noon. So about 4 o'clock this afternoon, I'll be able to take this out. And I'll actually be casting tonight. And if I'm really fast, I might actually have parts tonight to put on the bridge already. But I'm going to have to get busy. And this stuff is measured and mixed. Let's see here. Can't remember if it's by weight or by volume. This is mixed by volume. Part A and part B, 1-to-1 by volume, or 100 to 96 by weight. Yeah, have fun trying to measure it like that, unless you use grams or something really fine. So I'm only going to need to cover this by about 1/2 inch, so I don't need much. Just gonna use a few of these little plastic picnic cups. I like the clear ones. You can buy them by the hundreds for a few bucks. So, by volume, that means I have to measure each one exactly the same by volume. So, oops. So, if I put these in here, I figure if I fill each one about 1 Lego deep, a little more than 1 Lego deep, mix them together, maybe 1.5. Each one 1.5 Lego deep, mix them together. Then I'm just going to pour it in there. And then, to make sure I'm plugged in, I'm going to use a vacuum. You don't have to, but I'm going to use a vacuum chamber to evacuate all of the bubbles. And then just set it aside and let it cure. Start a timer, 4 hours, come back and check it. So let's mix this up. Make sure this. And about 1.5 Lego worth of material. Stir part A and B thoroughly. Better do that. So let's mix these up. Looks like this. About like honey. I don't know if it separates or not. I can't see into the container. But the blue, it's nice blue. Doesn't look like it's separated. But it says stir thoroughly, so I've had this a few months. Get all the vitamins and minerals to the top. Plan on making a mess. Okay, stuff gets everywhere. So, all right. Might as well measure by weight. I mean, 96 to 100. I mean, that's probably as close as you're going to get trying to measure it with the line on the cup. Yeah, that's plenty. Maybe a little more. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh it, and we're going to see how close we can get it by weight. So I'm going to use grams just because it's more accurate, I think. Can you see that? Just the camera. There. 10.3. That's how much the cup weighs. So we're going to subtract that. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zero it. So how much is this? 96. If we'd split that in half of 96 is 49, 48. Boy, we're almost exactly there. So this is part B. So if I do 48, well, that's right where I'm at, of part B, and 50 of part A, that should be the right ratio. So we can still make this work. Oh, better stir it. Make sure you clean all the blue stuff off before you stir the white stuff. And I'm going to stir it off camera here, just because it's easier. You're going to put bubbles in it by doing this. So that's why I'm going to vacuum it. Otherwise, you'd want to let it sit for a little while and let the bubbles come to the top. Actually, it feels like the bottom is a little bit gooey. The bottom is thicker than the material on top. I don't know how much of that I need to stir up. Anyway, should be good. So I want about 50. Make sure you get one of these scales that doesn't turn itself off after a minute or two, because it always happens in the middle of trying to measure something. .2. That's pretty close. It's going to be hard to pour these out of the cups and maintain that ratio. Anyway, keep making a mess. Stuff gets everywhere. So, let me make sure everything's ready. Make sure you cover these up. Let's see here. Let me pause this for a second. So, we're going to mix these together. It takes a while because the stuff is slow. You got to help it along. I don't know how you're supposed to maintain exactly the right ratio. You're always going to leave some in the cup. There's always going to be some at the bottom of the cup. There's always some on the side of the cup. I think it's part B. Part B is the catalyst. So if you get a little bit more part B, it's just going to set up a little faster. If you use too little of the catalyst, it might set up really slow, or you might have dead spots where it didn't. But mix it enough, you shouldn't have any issues. As long as you can see all the bubbles. See all these bubbles? That would cause a problem if you didn't have a vacuum chamber. Because I mix really fast, so it's going to get whipped up. I mean, it's like making scrambled eggs. You're just going to... I suppose I could pour this back in there, but I never do. Okay, so what I'm going to do, pour this into the mold. Make sure everything's pushed down. Just like that. Just like making pancakes. And you always make too much, so I don't know, you can use the rest on something, or go copy a detail off of something, or let the kids play with it. I don't know. Okay. Now this is going to go straight into my vacuum chamber, and I'm going to have to hold the camera by hand and do the rest with the other hand. So just a second. All right. This is my chamber. This goes in like that. Focus. There's my pump. It's a Robin Air vacuum pump off of Amazon. I believe most people use them for servicing air conditioners. There's my gauge, vacuum gauge. I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna start the pump. It's gonna get loud. I'm gonna put this, I don't know if this is Pyrex or, it's about 1/2 inch thick. As soon as this starts pumping, I'm gonna push that against the seal, and it should start vacuuming. Notice the sound changed. I'm going to go to about 25, 26 inches of mercury. That should be enough to degas. Can't really see what's going on. I need a new piece of plexiglass. Just have a little bit of leak. What you could see in there, you would see it starting, all the little air bubbles would have expanded and turned into big air bubbles and then popped. And then if I let it go a long time, it would start to boil. But that's enough. We're just going to let the air out really slow. You can see air coming back in. The cover will fall off as soon as it's neutralized there. And there you go. can see where it expanded and all the bubbles burst. It kind of spilled over the edge. And now you wait. Set a timer for 4 hours. Well, here we are after 4 hours. This is what it looks like. Is it cured? Well, this is what was left in the cup after I stirred it. And we're going to find out. It's very much cured. I hate wasting that much. I wasn't prepared to, if I didn't have another mold ready, or anyway, this is a good time to show you what this stuff is like. It's pretty tough. Oop. I mean, you can rip it in half, but I don't know what to compare it to. But let's take it out and see what we have. Nice thing about the Lego method is you can just disassemble it. You're not putting any extra stress on everything. There we have it. Could tell in a couple spots there's some rivets popped off and stuck to the mold. That's going to happen, but only a couple. Yeah, that'll work. And if need be, I can fix the one that lost a couple rivets right here and make another one. Oh, that's how I make patterns, molds, and molds. This might be enough for this video, so I can make another video that shows casting. So that's a different task in itself. But might let this cure for a little longer. Just not that it needs it, I guess, but well, hope you enjoyed that. Learn a little bit. Let's get some of these cast. Thanks for watching.